Did you know about 70% of the average US American diet comes from processed or packaged foods? This statistic was received from Brian Rolig's article, Eating with Your Eyes, Chemistry of Food Coloring. Dye exposure has quadrupled since the 70s due to the desire to brighter food, medicine, cosmetics, and clothing. Today I'm going to specify what artificial food dyes are, why they're used, as well as some popular items you probably don't even know have food dyes in them. Furthermore, I will discuss the history of food dyes, then answer any questions you guys may have at the end. To begin, what are artificial food dyes? Many Americans are just figuring out what artificial food dyes and what they're doing to our body. According to the FDA site, which was last updated in 2023, a certified food color is human-made, used for intense uniform color, is less expensive, and blends more easily. Furthermore, there are 9 different artificial food dyes on the FDA's list of certified colors, these being blue number 1 and 2, green number 3, red number 3 and 40, yellow number 5 and 6, orange B, red citrus number 2, with one of those just being banned recently, which we'll discuss more later. Many artificial food dyes are strictly used just to be aesthetically pleasing to the human eye. However, many of these numbered dyes, some of which you could not even tell, are in certain items. For example, some marshmallow brands have blue dye number 1 in them. Some pickle brands have yellow number 5 in them. Some sausage companies have a red dye number 3 in them. Since discovering what artificial food dyes, let's rewind to how artificial food dyes became popular in the first place. In ancient times, turmeric and paprika were used to color things like clothing. However, according to Ryan Rolig, the Aztecs used to find these especially bright red bugs. They would crush them up and use them to color things. It is said that if you crush up 70,000 of these bright red bugs, you could extract a pound of deep red dye called carbaminic acid. Furthermore, in 1856, William Henry Perkin discovered the first synthetic dye called mauve, which was created from coal. In addition, the first foods to be authorized by the USDA were butter and cheese, adding artificial food dyes into their ingredients in 1881. Because of the rising population surrounding diets and being healthy, more Americans are discovering what foods have food dyes in them. Some of these foods containing not only harmful chemicals but also carcinogenics. The FDA determined that in 1990, red dye number 3 causes cancer in animals, which led it to be banned in cosmetics and medicines. However, it remained in foods for 3 decades. Lastly, there's a lot of debate surrounding whether food dyes are safe or not. Places like Europe use vegetable extracts or chloroform, which is a pigment made from algae. Many numbered dyes are banned in places like the United Kingdom and Switzerland, France, and many other places due to the potential dangers that they may pose. However, as of January 2025, the FDA announced the ban of red dye number 3. In addition, the FDA stated that all American manufacturers have until 2027 to remove all red dye number 3 from their products. In the meantime, scientists at the Center for Science in the Public Interest have been working to ban all artificial food dyes from America, which they have successfully banned 7 other food dyes in the past. In conclusion, some researchers say that artificial food dyes may cause health risks such as allergic reactions, behavioral issues, and even cancer. Several other countries have already banned due to risk, and it's essential for the U.S. to take similar action. The recent ban on red dye number 3 is a step in the right direction. However, consumers must stay vigilant and steer clear of processed and packaged foods, as most of these chemicals are in those kinds of foods. By paying close attention to nutrition labels and choosing not to purchase certain foods, we can contribute to a safer and healthier community. And now you guys have.
You said that they have until 2027 to remove the red food dye. Why has the U.S. not banned food dye completely?
Artificial food dyes are not banned in the U.S. because the Food and Drug Administration says that if artificial food dyes are consumed within an appropriate limit, that they are generally safe for consumption. However, mostly children consume way more than they're supposed to. Next.
How do you personally feel about artificial food dyes?
I believe that artificial food dyes are toxic, especially to children, like I said, because most of these artificial food dyes are in foods aimed at children, like cereal, gummies, things like that. And if parents aren't mindful of what their children are consuming, they're going to consume more than they should.
If they're so safe, according to the FDA.
Right. Europeans especially are very cautious of their health. So if even potential risk of any food or medicine, what have you, they're gonna get rid of it. I actually have that in 2000, starting in 2010 in Europe, they made it where you have to put warning labels on food that contain artificial food dye due to the behavioral issues that it causes, especially in children. Thank you for coming back.